right now.
You like anal, bro?
Ooh.
Don't be asking me personal questions like that.
What he say?
What you like?
You already know what I like.
Damn, man.
What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video, and I've been gone for a long time, but so this is a part 2 to my last video. You know, just giving you tips on how to tell if your straight friend has a crush on you, is bi-curious and wants to experiment with you or whatever the case. And I try not to make these videos like sexual because that's not what this is about, but yeah, anyway, this is part 2, but it might be titled a little differently. So I don't like labels, but if I have to label myself, then I just identify as bisexual because I am attracted to both genders, but I don't have much dating or any relationship experience with either. I say that because my inexperiences always made me second guess situations and scenarios. Is that person flirting with me? Maybe they didn't mean it that way. Or sometimes I would think that they were flirting and I would reciprocate and they'd kind of be like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. And also, I'm a little sick. So if I sound nasally, that's why. So again, before I start this list and the advice, please know that this is from my personal experience and this is just a guideline to help you navigate your situation. Now, I'm not going to ever like misguide you into putting yourself in a dangerous situation, but just keep watching. You'll see what I mean. So to start this off, before I get started, ultimately, I learned that a lot of straight men, especially minority men, are very insecure.
Hey, bitch, what?
We've all heard straight men say, if a gay man calls you fine, then you fine. If a gay man say you got that shit on, then you got that shit on. Or I'm so attractive, I attract both genders. It seems like these days everyone wants that confirmation. So with that being said, you may get led on. You may get a lot of mixed signals from your straight friend or from straight guys in general. Don't let them confuse you. Don't let them make you think you're insecure or whatever. They just want confirmation from you, and they may even think it's amusing that they're driving you crazy like that. Now, I always say match their energy. If they're flirting with you, flirt back. If they're getting all close to you, okay, let them get comfortable. Just see how far it goes. I might take it a little further just to see how do I say, how bold they are, you know what I mean? If they make advances toward you, if they're flirting with you, getting handsy, and you reciprocate and they fall back, don't let the mixed signals get you down. Respect yourself and move accordingly. Don't expect anything else. Now, I want to tell you to just keep it platonic 100% and don't even let them disrespect you anymore by continuing the mixed signals. After a while, if you can see this push and pull thing, you can tell when somebody is just like they really like you, but they're afraid of like society's judgment, as opposed to you're a confidence booster for them. I want to say to respect yourself, and when they flirt back, don't think anything else of it. Keep your feelings out of it. I'm going to give you a story time as to how I learned all of this. So when I first got into film school, it was a completely different world. I had been exposed to so much diversity, just completely opposite of where I grew up. I grew up in a very Bible Belt community, everything and everyone was black and white, though, so whatever. And when I was in film school, I met this guy and he was the most gorgeous guy I'd ever seen. And he was so ethnically ambiguous to me. That's not why I was attracted to him. But I do like a mysterious person, and that was a part of the mystery. Anyway, so we're like really good friends now. But what led up to that was he would give me mixed signals. And even when I first met him, he was with another guy. And I asked if they were friends or whatever, and he told me they were boyfriends. And I was like, oh, so he's queer in my head. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I hadn't officially come out of the closet yet, but I moved to a new city. So I was like just being myself because no one knew me. But anyways, I was like, oh, okay. Long story short, he is a big troll. Like he jokes like that. He was lying. So I was like being more bold with him every time we hung out, every time I saw him in class, every club we went to, thinking like, okay, he's queer, And even though he said that the guy was his boyfriend, in my head, I had an ignorant idea of homosexuality because I came from a Bible Belt environment that did not properly inform me on how that worked or whatever. So I assumed, okay, they're boyfriends, but surely they're open. Basically mixed signals, heart emojis, kissy emojis from him. He messaged me at night. I would make advances, but I wish you were here with me or whatever at 2 in the morning. And he send like winky emojis and all this stuff, right? Sometimes he would actually come over and we'd be like on my apartment balcony just talking. And I'd be in my head like, are we not? I wasn't bold enough to ask, you know what I mean? But we would hang out like all night and he'd leave. And I'd be like, okay, well, you know what I mean? And then one day he just like grabbed me by both sides of the face and like leaned my face in very close as if he was going to kiss me and literally was like, I like you as a friend. I'm straight, like chill the fuck out.
Who do I ask for my face?
Anyway, so yeah, long story short, I really learned from him the mixed signal thing. Even now, he lives in Houston, Texas. We talk all the time. He's always sending me heart emojis. He's always sending like little fire emojis under my like, modeling pictures when I'm like doing sexy shit. And it's like, okay. And I just do the same thing. I mean, it is what it is. Like if he makes that move one day, I might not even I'm an Aquarius. I get over people and things very fast. So I might be really like you in the moment, but after a while, if nothing happens, it's over. Now, tip number one, if his girlfriend and or friends don't trust him around you or don't trust you around him, he's shown signs of bi-curiosity to them. They see the chemistry that y'all have and they most likely think that y'all are already hooking up. And you could argue, especially if you're in high school, well, his friends and or girlfriend could just be worried that people will start thinking that he's gay. That's a played out thing, you know what I mean, in today's time, especially if you're Gen Z. It just comes down to being confident in who you are, and being called gay isn't an insult anymore. It shouldn't be. I mean, I know like there are certain environments that may still be like that, but overall, if you're confident in who you are, if somebody does call you that, it's like, okay, well, I'm not, you know. And as far as like your girlfriend being worried about people talking about her, like no, like she's being concerned that her being your girlfriend and people calling him gay is gonna make her look bad. She shouldn't have a boyfriend because she's not confident enough in herself. You know what I'm saying? Tip number two. Now, this is definitely debatable, but if he's rumored to be bisexual or bicurious, the rumors are not always true. I don't care what people say, because if the person that's spreading the rumor is highly respected in the community, everyone's going to eat that up. Even if they don't believe it deep down, they're going to accept that rumor because of who spread that rumor. Now, you do have to acknowledge the rumor. Sometimes they are true. Now, I didn't start having like queer friends until like my mid 20s when I moved away, like moved out of where I'm from. That's when I started hanging out with gay people and I would hear about like they would have the scoop on certain like DL people and all of that. And I was like, wow, if you are openly gay or there's a gay community in your school and in your work office, on your college campus, wherever you're at, you can always go to them and ask like, hey, is he, has he ever reached out to y'all? Like, because they'll most likely be able to tell you like, yes, he's screwing so and so, or they may just say no, so that he genuinely could just either be straight or he is like you're the first person that he's ever felt this way about, as far as someone who's the same sex. And this is some random advice that's not really a tip. Since this is your friend, I'm sure he's giving you like a lot of cliche speeches like, oh, I would go to a gay club with you. I would go to a gay bar with you. I really don't care. Like, you're my friend. Like, I'll give you a hug in public, or I really don't, whatever. That's great. I love that. But deep down in the back of my head, I do kind of raise an eyebrow like, Not because you are not afraid to be seen with me in public, but I don't know. It just sometimes, I guess it is like the toxicity in the back of my mind from like toxic society. But if he says all that stuff, he's most likely the type of friend that will jokingly flirt with you too. And I flirt back, play along. Don't get nervous. This is your friend, but don't expect anything out of it because you could potentially like make things awkward. Your whole friendship actually, if he can feel that you actually are looking for something serious with him, because even if he is, he's still like in the closet. He's still very nervous, afraid, confused, if you will. So if you're making it too serious, then he's most likely gonna back up, or he's actually straight and he's realizing, okay, I can't play with him like that. Now, tip number 3, as I mentioned just earlier, go with the flow. That's the most important thing to take from this video. Go with the flow. Don't think too much, if at all, into it. This is your friend. Just because he's not afraid to treat you with respect in public and be seen with you publicly does not mean that he wants you sexually, because that's what a lot of you guys are attracted to, the fact that he respects you. I know this because I was that guy. I was conditioned by society to think that if I'm like openly queer or queer presenting and a guy is showing me respect, being nice to me, willing to be my friend, then that means that he is also queer or curious. And that's just not true. At the end of the day, I personally really appreciate straight men that respect me in that way and that sees me as a human being. And yeah. Oh, and another thing that used to really like attract me was when that straight friend would defend me in public or defend me to other people or like stand up for me. I used to always be like, okay, he's in love with me, and I would imagine our wedding together and all that shit. And when in reality, like, no, he's just being a real friend. Like, if he's your friend, no one's gonna mess with you as long as he has anything to say about it. And that's what you want out of a friend. You don't want a friend that's going to fall back or switch up on you around certain people, or let you fight your own battles when things get serious because you're queer and he may feel like, well, that's the life you chose for being queer. Like, no, that's not a friend, first of all. Now that's somebody that's probably DL for real and that's only being friends with you just to get something sexual out of you, want to experiment with you. Tip number 4, last one for this video. If your straight friend does in fact have a crush on you, if he is bi-curious and he makes a move and it's very obvious that he wants to take things to the next step with you, intercourse, in whatever kind of way, just know that y'all's friendship is going to change. It may even be ruined, especially if you personally are already inexperienced with dating and or relationships. You are going to catch feelings for him, or you're going to expect this to continue or to grow into something that's more romantic. You're most likely not going to expect things to go back to how they were and for you guys to never talk about this again, or for you guys to basically just be like, sex buddies in private, but continue your friendship. It takes an expert to be able to do those things, to turn off on and off the emotions or not have that romantic emotion at all. And it's low-key unhealthy to be able to turn off that side of your brain, honestly. If he's not willing to come out of the closet, or maybe he just wanted to experiment with you and realize, okay, I am straight, you might not want to accept that, or you might feel used, you might feel betrayed, heartbroken, and when he moves on with a girlfriend, he's most likely going to cut you off. Y'all aren't going to be as close as you were for his sanity, and it's just going to be bad. So, should I make a part 3? Ask me the questions down below, and maybe I could talk about them in the next video concerning these things. Or should I continue making content within this category? I kind of just come on here and talk about whatever's on my mind at the time. But if you guys want to see something specific, let me know. But anyways, peace out, you guys.